Welcome to the Fearless Crew. Ahbi was just an average peasant living in the small island of Cranties near India in 1889. Her life is normal until a trip to the market where she discovers something shocking about the government that seems to take a toll on her life. Ahbi was scared of this knowledge, but after extreme events take place and moods begin to drop drastically, Ahbi knows she has to do something. So she takes a sea voyage to India where she encounters storms, foreign lands, pirates, illness, fires, tunnels, bandits, war, and unearths truths and secrets about her life and lives of everyone in her home island. This book is the first book of the series, The Stories of the Brave Hearts. It is this tale about adventure, bravery, culture, intelligence, family, friends, love, and being fearless in the scariest of times. It is a great book for kids and teens alike. Hey guys, it's Ellery and this is my review for Ahbi's Story by She Bradley. So that is the back cover of Ahbi's Story, The Fearless Ones by She Bradley. I picked up this book because She Bradley was one of my very first followers on Instagram, actually, when I created my account, Ellery to encourage other writers. I got really excited about this one because it's historical fiction. And did I mention she's 11? 11. I couldn't get over that. To think that an 11-year-old would do the research to do a historical novel, and I can't get my fictional novel done yet. So props to you. This is a really good book. It takes place in 1889, and it follows the story of Ahbi, who, with a group of other people that she recruits together, try to unearth some secrets about the government and to help her family and the people on her home island thrive again because they've been neglected for so long. I think I would give it a star rating of 4. My favorite character had to be Alberta. She's intelligent, she's a great role model, she's encouraging, and she's easily visualized in my head. I definitely say this is a buy for me. I wish I could have gotten it signed. That would have been really cool. I consider it a buy because it's unique, it's educational, and it's just really fun. I think that she really knew her audience when she was writing this for kids and young teens because I think it fits perfectly. I really appreciated the time period. I love anything in the 1800s, if I'm being honest. It's my favorite historical fiction time period. Another thing I loved about it was it wasn't easily predicted. There were a lot of things that happened that I just didn't expect. I've become so used to looking for clues to what's going to happen. But you just get so caught up in it, you don't really even think ahead. It's one of those you can really just live in where it is. You just simply enjoy it. And I love that, especially for a kid's book. Another thing it had was great descriptions. Something that I think a lot of young and new authors struggle with is character descriptions. When to put them in and how to put them in. But she did it really well. It was easily integrated in the text. It made sense where she put it. It wasn't just, I can't count how many times I've read something where it's like they had pink bedazzled flip-flops and this and that, and it's almost too descriptive that it pulls you out of it because it just seems out of place. But She Bradley did that really well. She integrated the descriptions of her character physically and her whole family very easily, and even in the beginning so that you knew what they looked like. You didn't make your own picture and then realize it was different. It had a really nice diversity in characters. And something I really loved about this is the use of another language. I'm not sure what language it is, but I'm guessing it's whatever they would have spoke at the time. But it was beautiful. She did it in a way where she integrated another language, but didn't make it confusing to the reader. So you could really tell what she was trying to get across without the language getting in the way of that. I thought it was something that really added to the book. Another thing I loved about it was how it was written. I love that it was written from a young girl's perspective, but it wasn't just, oh, she was 13. She really made you feel like you were hearing the story from a young child, the way that a young child would tell it, but you would still get caught up in the story itself, which I think is really important. So often we portray these characters as more mature than they would actually be, realistically. But Ahbi had a really nice balance of that. She still thought of things the way that someone her age would think about them. Another thing I really loved about it was the writing style. For one, it kind of felt like she was telling a story almost in a diary, which I really loved. Some things that I didn't really love, there was a tendency to make run-on sentences and lists that I think were a little much, but that's such an easily solved thing that it's just kind of a side note. If I were her, I probably would have focused more on certain characters that were going to last longer in the book and not feel the need to give every single character an action in a moment. Otherwise it can just get kind of tedious at a certain point for the reader. But that's my personal opinion. There was a little bit of improper formatting that turned into an RP style in chapter 6 that was a little distracting, but I understand why she did it in a way. The last thing I would say was that I was a little confused as to her character's educational background. Their vocabulary sometimes seemed childish and sometimes seemed sophisticated. I know at one point they used the word chauvinist, and I was kind of off-put because I wasn't sure that they would use that, but I could be completely wrong. So that was just my feedback as the reader. Besides that, the plot, the characters, it was all really great. I wish I could have seen a little bit more of a character arc with Ahbi. I really loved how she took you on a journey. We don't have enough of those books that are going on a journey for a mission, like old school Hobbit style. That's what I think of generally, or Wizard of Oz, or ones that you go from different places. What I really love about a book is when they take you a lot of different places and you meet a lot of different people. And she really does that in her book. So I appreciate it. Something I would have loved to have seen is just a little bit more editing. There were a few little errors, but I found myself forgetting she's 11. She's 11 years old and she's published a book, and I kept thinking, oh, she's 15, she's 16, somewhere around there, but it's not the case. And I think that in itself is pretty amazing. But the plot was really great. I love how it ended. I loved reading the first chapter to her next book in the series. At the end, Margaret's story. So be looking out for that, Margaret's story. And if you would like to check out her channel, I'll leave a link in the description below. I made my first tea. I told you guys in my first video that for each review, I wanted to give a tea recipe that is themed off of the book. Whether it's the thematic material or different colors and smells and tastes that are mentioned throughout the book, I wanted to make a tea that I felt really embodied the book. I found a recipe online that was made from someone who is from India, and I guess in masala chai oftentimes they'll have cloves and black peppercorns, but in India, at least Eastern India, they avoid that. So I didn't include those, even though in the US that might be common. For Ahbi's story, I created a masala chai tea with Assam black tea, fresh ginger, cardamom pods, cinnamon sticks, fennel seeds. If you'd like to hear more about the tea, I'm going to be posting a video soon enough with a little video about how to make it, so I hope you enjoy that. If you haven't read this yet, stop watching. This is my spoiler alert right here. If you watch beyond this point, I warned you. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to point out. Oh my gosh, I love when Vela quickly jumped away from Kaha looking embarrassed and scurried to the front of the boat. Kaha shot me an accusing look. I stuck my tongue out at him and went to join Vela. Can we just say siblings? You understand. So, thank you. But I thought that was really cute, and honestly, I ship Kaha and Vela. But I don't know if that's gonna be a thing or if that's just in my head, but I hope so. The other one was page 51. They address serious issues, like I said earlier, and that's something I really appreciate She Bradley doing. And it has that line where it says, "At least most of us were," and then she apologizes to the people who had died on the shipwreck, and that literally killed me inside. Because you gotta think, I don't remember exactly how old Ahbi is, but a young girl dealing with that, away from her parents, away from her home. I really appreciate the realisticness. It wasn't like everybody survived to the end and everything was happy. It was bittersweet. there was heartache, there was loss, there was game when she refound her mom. It was a lot, and I just think that what I really appreciated was it was a kid's book that didn't just say everything was fine the whole time and we went on a happy adventure. It presented the realities of life, and I really appreciated that. So, She Bradley. First of all, I want to thank you for your book, because it's wonderful and it's unique and I absolutely loved it. The plot goes where you don't expect. The characters are fun and curious, and I just love seeing through Ahbi's eyes. So thank you for this book. I want to congratulate you on publishing a book at 11 years old. Are you kidding me? Come on. I mean, I can't wait to see more from you. And I just want to encourage you in your self-publishing journey. She is both a young and self-published author, mind you. I just want to encourage you because I think that your writing style is really unique. And I think that it's really, really great, and it's fun to read. You present the realities of life in a way that is both fun but truthful. And I really think that that's something that kids need to read. So it's a buy for me. And I just want to give you a little advice. In my personal opinion, I would be careful about the vocabulary you assign your characters, not to confuse the education level. And don't forget to look through your work for simple mistakes. Turn on spell check, turn on grammar check or whatever you use, and just look through for the little mistakes. Get some peer editing. That would be really helpful. It's good to see because the things that I found were very, very minor, and I think could be easily fixed. So I would look through that before you publish Margaret's story and just have someone read through it so you can get their initial reactions to things, because I find that really helpful. But I really want to encourage you because I really love this book and I can't wait to review Margaret's story. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time when I review Honey Butter.